Hi, gun people! Gone, not dumb. So, it's rainy outside, and usually on rainy days is when I choose to clean some of my guns. And I've got this new stuff here called Renaissance Wax. Dude, this is my new go-to water locks. So, I'm going to slide in the little flyer on this wax here. Maybe you can read it if I just hold it here real quick. But I'm gonna slide it, and then I'll put a link, and I'll put it on my website so you can open it up. So, Renaissance Wax. This wax was created for curators and museums because regular wax would protect it from oxygen and rust, but it attracted certain acidics which tended to degrade. So they did a big study over time on the best wax and what not to use, and this stuff seems to be like the shit. So it's a little expensive. This costs, I think, 25 bucks. But a little goes a long way. You see how much I've used? I think I did 3 swords, some leather equipment, 4 or 5 knives, and let's see, 2, 4, 6, maybe 20 guns. And that's how much I've used. So what I did, and it's got a little bit of a pungent odor. Here, smell. Ooh, here, smell my finger. So it's got a little bit of a pungent odor. It's not that bad. A lot of people said it's very ammonia, etc., but it wasn't that bad. So what I did is I just kind of went to my secret place where I hide some of my neighbor's guns, and I keep them for them. And I just pulled out some guns. I have no idea what gun is in here and what I'm pulling out. All guns are considered loaded till I prove otherwise. So for you safety sallies, you're going, oh my God, there's a bullet! Where the guns out? Are you crazy? Whatever, shut up. So which one are we going to do first? Let's just open this little one up top here. Okay, this looks like a little Colt I have. So, it has wood grips, and we're going to show you what this does, what this Renaissance does to this. Pretty stinking amazing. So, I'll go ahead and pop the bolts out because I know somebody's going to be freaking out. So, what I do is I just take this Renaissance wax, I put a very little on my finger. I mean, you can't even see it. And then you can see it kind of rub it on there. I don't know if you see that rubbing on. This little thing right here could be maybe right. Does that give a better light? I've got 2 lights behind me, so it's kind of blinding me. So, I'm just rubbing this all over the gun like they would do in a museum. And I'm getting a wax coat. Now this stuff, if you're doing a big area, it does dry pretty quick. And the longer it dries, the harder it is to buff off. But, if you read the instructions, no matter how hard you buff, even if you put water on here, it won't wash away. It's got some special bonding, micro coat, whatever. I don't know what it is, and there's really no safety things on it, so I'm sure it's illegal in California just because anything that works is illegal in California because they gotta keep everybody freaking stupid. But, so basically I'm coating the entire gun because these guns kind of just sit in my safe. I don't pull them out. I mean, like I said, I don't know what half these guns are in here. And I pull back the trigger so I can get every little spot. And now I'm going to do the grip. And you can put it on wood. Man, it really brings out the wood pretty good. Maybe I'll just try to do one side of this. If you can see it. And compared to the side where I didn't do it, maybe I'll put a little bit on there. Put a little right there. So pretty much, I want to get the trigger housing because that's where usually most people stick their finger. And then behind the trigger, let me get the other side of this with the And by using gloves, I don't absorb or lose a whole bunch. Plus, I'm not putting any other oils on the gun. So now I can either set this aside and let it dry, or I can wipe it off right now. And I'm going to wipe it off right now. And man, it makes your guns look really nice. It makes any of your knife blades look nice. It leaves a protective coating. Look at the color on that. The wood, it enhances the wood luster. I mean, this is like my new go-to. I started putting it on different things. Now, obviously, I haven't done the test of time on it, and I haven't put a gun away, you know, for 3 years to see if it protected it. But museums, they swear by it. And they say it doesn't, it works on all metals. And I haven't pulled out my Henrys, but I had a brass trigger on one of my Rossies. And man, it made that freaking brass just shine. And again, I'm not going to put any oil or anything else on this. And even if I don't wipe it off completely, it's not going to hurt it. This stuff supposedly doesn't attract dust or other acidic things. It says use a fiber cloth. I used a t-shirt, and a fiber cloth does get in better and remove it and make it look nicer. So I didn't do a before and after shot of this gun, but you can tell how long I spent on it, and it really makes a gun look nice and gives it a great protection according to curators. And I'll just put my it's not supposed to do any damage, so I'll just rub the top of my with any residual I have left, and it'll make my bullets nice and shiny. Rick, that's gonna eat away the primer, and you don't know if it's got whatever. Okay, it's sitting in a freaking hidden area. I really don't care. And that's one gun down. So that's how I spend my rainy days, just kind of pulling different guns out. Now this one is a, is this a Smith? Yeah, I think this is a Smith. And it's a little 5-shot hidden revolver, which isn't going to take long at all. Hell, I'm not even going to take the bullets out of this one, because I'm just going to rub it down. And this has a flat coat already, so I'm not expecting a luster. I'm doing this for a protective film. Oh my God, Rick, there's a bullet there, and it could shoot it, and it's just unsafe, and you... Whatever, people, please. Can't believe the number of people that get upset because I point a freaking gun just at the, Again, I do the rubber and this really is a high rust spot on a lot of Smiths where they get in the serial number. So... And anywhere there's like little ridges or dots, that's another high rest where oil gets in there and it's not cleaned a lot. So that's pretty much it for that gun. We'll wipe it down. And again, this kind of had a flat finish, so you're not going to get, but it leaves this micro wax coating, which is supposed to be like a super protectant. So I'm not getting any money. I'm not getting sponsored. They didn't send me anything free. You know, I'm not trying to be one of those people, use my link and, you know, just do this. I'm just passing on things that I use, that I do research on, and that I did. And I did quite a bit of reading and research on this. I can't find anything negative on this. Now, could that be, oh, he lasered himself, oh, it's so scary, he's dangerous. Whatever, people. Alright, so this gun's done. So that didn't take long. What else we got in here? What the hell's in here? This is a Ruger something or other. I can't remember what the name of it is. So I'm just going to... Oh my God, he didn't clear it, and it could be... All guns are loaded, people. Look. So the bottom of this tends to be plastic, but that's okay. I'm doing all the metal pieces because it has metal inside some of those plastics. The buttons, the release. It works really good on grips. I think these are wooden grips. It's going to make these look really nice. I had some, you know, I put some water locks. I did that one video where I water locked all my grips, all my wooden grips, and man, I put this on it after the water locks. Woohoo, man. Sights, another area that gets a lot of rust. People touch them. So I want to get a nice little wax coating on there. And that's it. And like I said, when you rub this off, man, it puts a nice shimmer and sheen on your gun, plus the protectant factor. And again, this microfiber cloth gets into the grips a little bit better too, I think. I usually pop out the old mag, give the mag a little rub down. They tend to, you know, get a little corrosive or rust too. Again, a lot of these guns are kind of like, they don't get used that much. So to keep them without oils, because I have gloves on, so I've only used this oil here, and that one's done. Tell us what we got here. What is this? This looks like a Dan Wesson. Yeah, it is a Dan Wesson. Look at those nice grips. So, we'll see what the grips look like with this stuff. Because the last grips I put on there, man, it made them. Made them shine. So I think the Dan Wessons, these are the ones to where you can get the multiple barrels. A lot of people have like the 2, 4, 6. I think this is a 2-inch barrel. But I think it's pretty easy. If you got the tool to take this off, I can put on a 4, 6, 8-inch barrel. The complete kits are pretty expensive because not a lot of people keep them complete. They started selling them. All these, I'm never really a fan of changing up how you open different guns. You know, some guns open up with a push back here. My Colt opens with a pull back here. Dan Wesson's open with a pull right here. You have to pull down on this little switch. So, unless you carry a certain specific gun all the time, you know you're going to get. Okay, so now I got it all oiled down. The old microfiber cloth here, and see what it does to this finish. Man, look at that. That does a nice job. Plus, I mean, not even if it didn't make it look nice, if it gave you superior protection for your firearm, it would be great. But man, when you, whatever they put in this sucker, and I tried to look at the the ingredients, and I can't find it. So somebody, if they want to post what's in there, there's something about whatever they move from other waxes that caused acidic breakdown of certain things. Again, so if I miss an area, somebody's saying, well, you're not wiping it down real good. Even if I miss an area, it still has the wax protective coating. This rag really sticks to these gloves. These grips are going to look good, I bet you, when I get done with this. look at those grips, man. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo, doggies. That's a good looking set of grips. Bam! Says you can put multiple coats. I put like 2 coats on my on one of my swords. Man, the second coat made it more shimmer and shine. I haven't put 2 coats on a gun because I'm getting a nice single coat, but that's the thing when it's done. I don't know if you guys are seeing that. That's a nice little Dan Wesson there. Where the hell was that cover? Alrighty, moving along. What the hell we got in here? That one's sticking out. I think that's one of my dark ones. Oh, I like when it comes out on stainless because it does a nice job on stainless. So let's watch what this stainless looks like afterwards. It's kind of got a little oil on it, maybe from inside the bag. Again, I would, if I wanted to protect, especially if you got guns in the safe that you don't use a whole bunch, to give them a good coat for storage like this, man. Now, somewhere I did find one thing that it said this is not meant for long-term storage, and I'm thinking they're talking like, you know, if you pack it in Cosmoline, that type of long-term. I also always make sure you get those little screws on your grips. They always tend to rust. So if you can get some of this oil on there, or this wax, I'm calling it oil. Man, it makes stainless steel freaking shine. You ready for this? Woo, doggies. Get your sunglasses on, people. It's about to get bright in here. Hell, it even made my plastic grips look good. Use it on plastic, leather. I actually have a piece of leather in here that I was going to try it out on to show you because I put it on another leather thing. Works on wood. I should sell this shit at gun shows and set me up a booth and make a bank. But it's pretty expensive. And it's hard to justify, but when you've got investments and you've got lifelong guns that you're going to either pass down or you have from history because of where you were or when you bought it or whatever, I mean, you want to protect those suckers. I should have polished up one of these bullets to show you what it did on brass. I mean, this thing looks pretty shiny already. We'll see if we can tell the difference if we put a little wax coating on this. Okay. So this one has the wax coating, this one doesn't. Is there a difference? Put it in light. Hell, I can't tell. So anyway, again, the other brass thing that I shined up, man, it came out really, really nice. I think one of these is a little nickel plated, and it's supposed to work really nice on nickel. Woo! I know somebody just turned off the video. I can't watch this guy. He's just dangerous and it's so scary. Freaking pansies. Alright, there you go. Little coat of Renaissance wax. Look at that. I hope this camera's picking it up. Again, I've got a couple big lights behind it so I cannot see at all what's coming out. I wish I could find that little nickel. That's a little cold. That's a little tars. What the hell's in here? Oh, this is the python. This needs to get done. No, this ain't the python. This is the 6-inch Dan Wesson. Where's my Python at? I definitely want to get my Python done. This is a 686. That's a nice gun with good wood grips too. This is a little baby Smith. All right. What's this? Looks like this is a Smith with big. These grips look pretty rough. I wonder what it's going to do to these grips. Let's see what it does to these grips here. Again, the little brass piece on the grip tends to make that sucker shine too. There's what it looks like before I did it. If you guys can see that. I feel like I'm polishing a shoe the way I'm just sticking it in there. It's kind of like shoe polish. It almost smells a little bit like shoe polish. This has what's called a bobbed hammer or a bobtail or what else? I don't know. There's all kind of different names that people use. I always get the trigger where it's got those little grooves. Any place you got grooves, that's where your oil tends to stick from your fingers. Then the yoke, and of course, cylinder, the front side of the cylinder, back side of the cylinder, inside where the cylinder, and that's it. Now we'll wipe it down. See what those old grips are going to look like. Yeah, it didn't do too much of those grips. I mean, it put a little sheen on them, but not as good as if your grips are in good condition already, man. It did a nice job on the finish. This is an old Smith. I don't remember if I cut that hammer off or not and filed that down. I might have did a video on that where I was buffing it down. I can't remember. So many damn videos out there. Again, if I don't get it all off, I'm not hurting anything. So, to me, it's more important to cover everything than it is to necessarily wipe it off. But it sure does make that gun shimmer and shine. And we got another one down. So that's kind of what I do on my rainy days when I'm stuck inside. These are all, see how these bullets are kind of, the old lead is kind of getting, I'm going to see what happens when we put a little of that on that. See if we can tell the difference between a wax bullet and an unwaxed bullet. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. This is the waxed one. I'm not seeing a big difference. I think that was in there. Doesn't matter. It's just a protective case to hold it. This is the this is another Dan Wesson. Yeah, see the opening here, Dan Wesson. Most of my Dan Wessons are 357s. So let's see what the old wax does to this. And again, once I put my gloves on, I don't do anything else, so I'm not messing up any of the oiling or waxing. I keep calling it oil because it kind of like goes on like an oil, almost like an oil base. And again, these guns get out maybe, what, once a year? I usually give them a clean down. Man, it sure does look better than it did from sitting in there. Now, I might do a little test like I did with my nails on the different oils, banana skin, and all the other oils. Maybe I'll do one with wax, because I've used Johnson Paste wax, I've used some wood wax, I've got beeswax, and I've got this wax. So the problem is, by using those different waxes, I'm not going to test one of my guns for long term on something that I'm not, you know, I'm not going to put paste wax necessarily on my gun. I mean, if it was the only thing I had. Man, does a nice job on those guns, don't it? Sure hope you guys are seeing this. Because I think it does a nice job. I know there's somebody, that's crap, you should be using WD-40. Alright, whatever. Go buy. Now they said you can put water on this. The only way, supposedly, according to their thing, to remove this wax coating is, I think it said mineral spirits, which is pretty amazing. So, I mean, this stuff appears to go on pretty stinking good. And another one down. This 686 should do a nice job on its grips. I carried this in on one of my crazy cop stories where I went down to shoot Newton. This was my backup gun. I had my Glock and this. That's the story where the freaking we pulled one of the cops over. It's down in LA, and we were chasing these Nigerian freaking scammer people. We had warrants and we tracked one down there. So we went down to arrest his ass and do a search warrant to see if we could find some shit, and stop the Newton cops. Said, hey, we're out of the area. Just want to let you know we're going to be over here. Any chance of getting a uniform unit with us so they know we're legit? Because we're in plain clothes. I mean, we got our high-profile police vests on, but... And he looked at us and goes, no, man, you know, it says something like, if it ain't our warrant, we don't get involved, but if you need help, call us. I was like, really? You got fucking cops coming into your jurisdiction? There might be a shooting. We're fucking serving search warrants and arresting people, and you're like, on duty, driving around, not doing shit. And he says, no, if you need help, call us. I was like, thanks a lot. Now, I get kind of some way why they do that, because if you remember in Oakland, when Oakland backed us up on this one call and we had one cop go in when he shouldn't have, and we ended up getting sued, Oakland was like, hey, it wasn't our guild, we were just there to back up. So over time, a lot of agencies are like, hey, if we didn't do it, we don't want to be involved. That way if it goes bad and you call for help, we're covered. But if we help you and we don't do a whole bunch of research on whether it's good or bad, and then it turns out being bad, then they're going to try and sue us. So, I mean, I get it. I just thought it was cheesy. If I'm on the road and the cops freaking going to a place in my area, in my jurisdiction, and I know the streets, I have the radio, and he's serving a legitimate warrant, I mean, I'd help him out. But, you know what? Nowadays, it's a different... It is a different freaking world. So, for cop work, for everything. So this is a Renaissance wax demonstration. I know there's a couple guys that'll be like, dude, I'm getting some of that. Because I'm telling you, this shit works good. Alrighty. And that's the 686. You know, if you keep wiping it off, you can get a better polish on it. I'm just kind of removing the excess, so it's not that big of a deal. Made the grips look nice. Again, I don't know which one you guys are getting a better view on, whether you're seeing this from the light reflection, but alrighty. On my zippers, I use beeswax. If you buy straight beeswax and rub a little beeswax on your zippers, makes your zippers work a lot easier. So that's what I use on my, what's this little, so this little tarse. And then I got this piece of leather here that I'm going to put some on the leather, show you what it does to leather. And again, you can tell it doesn't take that long to do quite a few weapons. So to me, and look, I haven't used a whole bunch. So people go, man, $25 is a lot. Yeah, but that thing may last freaking forever. It looks like it had a little oil in there that I didn't, a little more oil than I liked. I don't want to get oil from something else. Again, I always get the grooves or the triggers because this is the area that you get most of your oils in rusting. All right. So it did a nice little job on this tarse. Tarse doesn't have that great of a finish. And it seemed to raise what little finish it had. And that's the tarse. You can tell I ran out of little holders, so this tarse has to stick out here. He doesn't get to stay nice and cozy in his little house. Alright, let's do this leather piece here, because this is what the leather looks like before. And now we'll put some Ren Wax on it, because it's supposed to protect, polish, leather, as well as metal, plastic. This is an old PR24 holder. You clip it on your belt, put your PR24, that little nub there keeps your handle from swinging around. I don't know if they still use these or not. I don't even know why this thing's out here. I must have found it somewhere. And it alrighty. So that's after I put the wax on it. Now we'll see what it looks like when I remove it. Alright, so that's what it looks like afterwards. I don't know if that's better or good or gooder, betterer. I just had that laying around with her. I didn't know what the hell I was going to do with that. So what do we got here? We got a little Smith here. I don't know what size Smith it is. Well, I mean, it's a 38, but I don't know, like, the model number. Everybody's like, That's a 629B 14-3, whatever. It might say it in here. Ah, shit, I can't read it. This used to be, they used to call little detectives long ago, before we had 40 round magazines that we could spray and pray everybody. You'd carry one of these little small 5 or 6 shots. And this was your gun. This is it. Back when cops used to be able to fight and protect themselves, and you didn't have to hire everybody for all kind of other stupid reasons other than doing the job. Again, I always get these little ridges that hold oil really well by spinning those. Again, this is a protective coating. We'll get the grips. Serial number always tends to rust out. Always pay attention to those. Sometimes it helps to get a little brush and brush in those little ridges. If I wanted to brush each of these, that will get that wax and stuff in there. Any place there's a little ridge, you want to kind of clean those. Alright, that's what it looks like with the wax on. Now it's the wax off. Here we go. Smokey's downstairs laying on the couch because it's kind of windy. It's not really cold, but that wind made it pretty nippy outside. I think it's going to get down to freezing tonight, but I think it might be like... Man, that makes those grips look nice, I think. Someone might be like, Rick really likes that. He's going to put it up. Hey, when I find something I like and it works, then I use it. And I'm not saying you have to use it. I'm not even saying you have to buy it. Shit, I'm not even saying you gotta like it. I'm just sharing the shit, people. Why's it gotta be all personal? Gotta be hating. Man, that really makes the finish look nice to me. Look at that. So I know now that these guns have no oil on them, and that's the little Smith finished. Does a nice little job. Wah, wah, wah. Rick, you shouldn't. That's day. You're gonna shoot. Be quiet, you big freaking crybabies. Alrighty. So I guess I can pull out a knife. Put some. This is a. I think I put some like paste wax on these last time I had them out. So I'm going to use something else to wipe it off. So this is probably made of good steel. I bought these back in the Philippines back in, hell, when was I in the PI? 80 something. In the 80s. So these are like caribou type handles. Got a little brass. And I think I put it on both sides, didn't I? On the back. Alrighty, so let's see what it does to this sucker. Probably the same thing it does to my blade, which I was pretty happy with. Alrighty. So that's what it looks like after it's done. with some Ren Wax. And again, if I put second coats, it's supposed to help put a better layer. Third coat, maybe a better layer. I'm not sure I can see it, or if you can tell, then it gets shinier, but that's what they say. Each layer you put on here makes it nicer. So this isn't, like I said, these things are, I'm going to put some on this wood here. Got some leather here. Put some on the leather. Boy, that kind of brought that back to life. That put a nice sheen on that leather. That wood, and I'll put some on this. I think this is called caribou horn or something. I don't know if it's I don't know if they had plastic back then that they were using on every freaking thing. Oh, that gave that wood a little nice shimmer. It definitely helped that leather. I don't know if it helped this front any. And there you go. I wonder, anybody who knows knives, I wonder what these knives are worth. I have no idea. I bet you I was paying maybe 20 bucks for them or something back then. Maybe 25. Who knows? I wonder what they're worth now. If anything, people say they're cheap. Old steel used to be better than new steel. So I cleaned this one up. This guy was making these knives out of files. Takes an old file because evidently it's really good steel, and he put these handles on it. Let's see what this does to this. Oh, that's another thing this thing is good for. It seals granite and marble. It also seals jewelry. So that's the side I just did. That's the side I didn't do. Is there a difference? And that's what I did to that. Put a little leather on the leather. I've put it on a few leather things, and it tends to do a nice job on leather. I haven't tried it on my chaps or any of my horsey leather, but man, it sure does seem to bring out a nice shine to the old leather. I don't know if you guys are seeing a difference, what it does to leather. It says you can use it on boots, all kind of stuff. Alright, put this on here because I think I'm buzzing. So that's how much I use to do all those guns and knives. Doesn't take a lot. People were saying when I was reading research, if you use your hands, you use more because it sticks and you're wiping your hands. Using a glove, you get all the product on there, and your gloves are oil free. So pretty nice little stuff. Ren Wax. You guys can pause the tape and read that. Maybe that'll give you some info. And again, I'll scan the little booklet and make a copy, because I could not find any of this information until I ordered it, and then this came with it. So this had the most information that I could find on it. Alright, Renaissance wax. I got a few more guns I gotta go do, but we'll go ahead and end that there. And y'all have a good one. Okay, I'll add this in case those want to hang around and watch some more guns. So I grabbed a few more guns out. This is a nice little Smith that I picked up at a gun show. I can't remember what I did, but I got it. But I've never done anything with the pearl grips on it, so I'm wondering if this is going to, if this will do nice on these grips. Again, pearls, jewelry. I mean, these guns are freaking old. This has the old pin barrel. You see that? Oh, I didn't turn my little thingy so I can see that I'm on. See that little pin right there? So when they put the barrel in, they put a pin in there. Smith & Wesson stopped pinning barrels, I don't know, years ago. So when you find an old Smith with a pin barrel, it's considered a, I don't know if it's a luxury, but it's one of the better, older pinned. And this thing might be nickel plated. Maybe it's just stainless steel, I don't know. But this, again, supposed to protect nickel, chrome, stainless steel, doesn't matter. Alright, let's see what this little sucker looks like when it's done. I mean, these grips look pretty good before, but they might have a little bit, it might have sheened them up a little bit, gave them a little bit more reflective properties. See what it does to the old gun. So I'm going to give all my guns, as you can tell, actually these are kind of some of the neighbors' guns. I only have a couple guns. But, so I'm going to coat a lot of guns with this, as you can tell. And that's what it does to this, if this is a nickel, this might be a chrome plated. I just saw a pretty nice shimmer there, so this might be chrome plated. Now chrome plating is supposed to be pretty hard. I don't know if it's better than nickel. Some people I think said nickel was better, other people said no, chrome's better than nickel. I mean, there's some good coatings out there. I don't think they do nickel or plating anymore because of the environmental crap. Oh, he just pointed that gun at him. That was dangerous. This might be a nickel or chrome. It's got some wood grips. Let's get a coat of this on here. Oh, another pin barrel. Notice the barrel is pinned. See that little pin right there? So this is a definitely an older gun when they stopped pinning. And the cylinder looks, the scratch marks aren't very predominant on it. When I say scratch marks, it's where the pin, as you rotate it, you just get those marks right there. And they're pretty minimal, which would lead me to believe that it probably is a chrome or nickel plating, because that tends to hold up better than the blue. And we'll get these wood grips nice and good. You can feel when it goes on, as it heats up with your hands, that it's kind of like working its way in. So, it may look like I'm using a lot, but I can just feel, and then as it dries, it gets sticky. because like any wax. So I was wondering on maybe doing a car wax, beeswax, this wax on some nails just to see the rust property protection. Woo, man, that made that barrel look nice. Woo, doggies. If it made the barrel look that nice, it's going to make the cylinder look nice. Man, it did a nice job on that gun. That's some bling bling. Bling! See what it does to the old grips. Puts a little shimmer. Yeah, it didn't do too bad on the grips. These grips are kind of old and weathered. So, but it did okay. Again, I'm not doing it necessarily for to get the pretty. I'm more worried about the protective properties. So you can tell where I didn't wipe it off good. And then when you wipe it off, kind of like if you put wax on a car, if you miss a spot, you can tell. Alrighty. So those two are done. That out of the way. What do we got next here? This looks like, oh, it's got a pin barrel. So you can tell it's one of the older ones. Again, anytime I see those little grooves, I pay close attention, because that's where oils and stuff gets in there, and it's very hard to get it out. People don't usually clean those. And they're usually on sights, your thumb cocker, your release, sometimes on your trigger. This one has it on the trigger. You can see the little grooves. Anytime you find those grooves, pay special attention when cleaning, because those areas are magnets for little micro rust. I did a few rifles and I wore out one of these gloves. I had holes in it, so I had to change gloves after a few rifles. But you know, I was doing like AKs and my Grand, M1 Grand, and that has a lot of kind of sharp edges. Oh, that did a nice job on these grips. Now, I thought I read somewhere the longer you let it dry, either it doesn't matter or it does better. I can't remember which one it is, so I didn't want to say. Okay. Let's give this little bad boy a wipe down. And again, if I set this down, and that's probably the problem with the rifle, is the rifle takes a lot of toner. And when you go back to the first part on your rifle, if you don't do it in sections, man, this stuff gets pretty hard and cakey. So, you know, you may want to, if you're doing a big project with this, because I mean, you can do, like I said, boots, your leather gear for your horses, any of your wood gear, knives. I mean, this stuff just, man, I like it. Obviously, you can tell. I'm putting it on all my guns. And like I said, I cannot find anything negative where somebody go, it ruined this, or it's bad, or nothing. Alright. Oh, Al Bundy. I used to tell people, not keeping your gun loaded is like having a damn car or lawnmower with no gas in it. When you need it, you can't use it. You got to add gas. So, since guns tend to be, when they're needed, it's an emergency, you don't want to be screwing around trying to find bullets or trigger locks or combinations and all that other stupid shit that liberals tell us keeps us safe. Give you a freaking rape whistle. While you're being raped, you can blow in a whistle. And they got idiots out there believing, I don't need a gun, I got a whistle. Okay, well that's because you're an idiot. Alright, so that's that one. Thought I did pretty good on the grips. Another one down. Another one bites the dust. The hell is this? Looks like a Ruger. It is a Ruger. I don't think this is a GP100, but it's a Ruger. See, you can tell I got a lot of 357s. That used to be my go-to. You know, kind of like Dirty Harry like this 44 Magnum. I was a 357 guy. So, powerful round, good stopping power, big flame out the front, so if I didn't hit them, if it was up close, I could start them on fire. Nice kick, you know you're shooting. All right. Doesn't have, it's got that wood, that screws, grip screws are notorious for rusting. Always want to make sure and concentrate on those little boogers, because they will trick you up. Pull your gun out and be like, damn! Find rust on a gun, it's going to be in one of those areas where it's got little ridges. So this kind of has like a duller satin finish to it, but it still put a nice coat on it. I'm happy with it. It's got a good, stainless steel's got a good protective factor anyway, but Ruger 357. Again, this one, Ruger's open with a little notch here. Smith, you push forward. Coates, you pull back. Dan Wesson's, you pull down. So, unless you have one of those guns, and again, I think understanding the way guns operate, if you're really proficient with a firearms or with firearms, you can pick up any gun and get that gun into action. Now, when we were in the military, whoever our enemy was, we'd obviously train and get exposure to their guns in case we found ourselves out of ammo or had one of their guns. But even if you don't have any training, this is an old little 9-shot 22. This was my dad's gun. Shit, this thing's... It's Western Auto. You youngsters won't even know what that is. That used to be like... Maybe I'll call it like an Ace Hardware. But they used to sell guns. You go in there and buy guns. Ace Hardware still sells guns. Sears and Roebuck, I think they may have made guns for a while. But this is an old 9-shot 22 Western Auto. You won't find many of these around. I'm not going to unload all those little... I think it's a 9-shot. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah. Well, shit, it even gave a little shimmer to this little sucker. And this thing didn't have any bluing whatsoever. Look at that. It's got a little bluing now. Wow. This is the best this little gun's ever looked. Oh my God! He's moving around and there's bullets and he put his finger on the trigger and it's just dangerous. Oh, man. Alrighty. Hey, that little gun looked nice. For an old gun, that really brought out the nice color, even though they didn't have real sharp bluing back then. I thought it did a pretty nice job on this little gun. And last but not least, out of this batch anyway, this looks like a GP100. Ruger GP100. Now this is going to make this wood. I want you to look at this wood, because this is really going to do a nice job on this wood. I'll just do the wood first on this sucker. So that's what I didn't do, and that's what I did. So that's done, and that's not done. I don't know if you can tell the difference. I can see the difference. Looks pretty good. So we're going to get a Smith & Wesson 686, I think was the first one that came out with this extra full shroud. Used to be the shroud would only go to where this is. And then the 686 added this, which gave you more barrel rigidity, but I'm not sure whether it increased accuracy or function, but it looked nice. It just made the gun. It also gave you a little extra weight for the recoil. So, and then I think other manufacturers kind of jumped in on that because they either like the look or whatever. Kind of like car manufacturers or whatever. Again, watch those little ridges. This has ridges right down the barrel, another good area that you can get rust. Always nice, take a little brush down there and just make sure. So now I know I got good wax all the way down in there. And I may not be able to get it out real well, but I know it's got that protective coating. Did I do that other grip? I don't know if I did. Alrighty, let's wipe this bad boy down. See what the Ren Wax did with it. Woo, doggies. Man. Man, that made it look nice, didn't it? I'm telling you, you get some of this stuff. Now they sell it, this is a 200 milliliter bottle and it's $25. I think you can get like a 46 milliliter for like 15 bucks. I think you're better off going for the larger one personally, but I know people are sometimes kind of strapped and that's a lot of money and there's a big difference, and if you can't afford it, well then get the small one. But hell, I'll keep a bottle. Anybody I'll run into, if they want me to put a coat on their gun, I'll be more than happy to slide a coat on for them. If I have the wax with me and you got your gun, if we have a gun meter somewhere, I can throw that in a truck and I'll just bring it. And I'm pretty sure most people will be pretty damn happy with the results. Okay. You'll probably notice I got different 357 rounds. I've always had lots of boxes, so whenever I bought the gun, whatever ammo I had is what went in it. So, and since it's sitting in a safe or whatever, they've been in there for a while. Alrighty. So, GP100. Grips look nice. Alrighty. Hey, we're really going to end that this time. I might do some more, but sometimes I need a break. So I need a break right now. My fingers and hands. So I'll go put these up, and hell, we'll end that there. Hope you all enjoyed it.